Or otherwise she wouldn't have said it.
What?
Apparently she didn't see
She had
that.
no friends. Ain't nobody around her saying like, "Hey, that was dumb as fuck what you just said. That's gonna cost you an election."
Whether or not they did or not, it's too late at that point.
Yeah, it
She
is.
just gonna get back on stage and be like, okay, what I said on stage was wrong, and it's not how blah blah blah. It's like, and that ain't gonna happen.
No, it's just.
So it's like, she said it. And apparently she didn't in the moment, or whenever she wrote the speech, or whoever wrote the speech for her. I don't know. I don't know. From the few times I've seen her, talk, it doesn't seem like she's speaking from like a memorized speech or anything like that. It seemed like she, speaking from the cuff. But whenever she came up with that, with that analogy or that, that example or whatever, like apparently she didn't think that anybody would take offense to it.
Yeah,
I never when I was reading it. I'm sorry, but whenever I was like looking into it and I heard her make that comment, I didn't even read into it that way. Like when I heard it, I'm like, unfortunately, it may be ignorant. I was like, yeah, I guess she got a point. Like I didn't look at it as they're coming over. These jobs that she's mentioning are less than or they're being pigeonholed to have those type of jobs and those type of jobs only. Like what Donald Trump said, they're taking all the black jobs. So it's like, that seemed like, looking at it now from your perspective, I'm like, those seem like very similar comments to me. Like,
So I can explain the black jobs comment if I hadn't before, because it's real easy to run down this list in terms of like who's the lowest educated population.
Like I just said, I'm like, those are the jobs that she's saying that black folks don't want to do. So the Hispanic people are going to come in, like the jobs that are at the lower rung of the earning potential.
I still don't understand that black jobs like don't want to do a job, but I'm like,
yeah, but it's. Like I think even that term now is like out of date. Like the black job, the lower job. Like you can even think of that the same way as far as McDonald's. Like everybody got that first job you do that nobody else want to do. Now whether if you're doing that forever, you can't be a grocery store baggage for 20 years. Clearly there's something wrong with there.
You be the baddest motherfucking bagger like ever walked this planet. Shit.
Go to the grocery store and you see how old them people are that's up in there bagging groceries and stuff. But they be 40, 50 years old, still bagging.
I'm saying like if you just got that job and whether if, I know there's a lot of people that get out of jail and they're trying to turn their life around or, something else happened in their life, whether if it's mental illness or something, so you have to get a simple job. Like a lot of people see those or they will not see those, but like if you are a bagger and you started at 18 and you working at Trader Joe's, years later, Trader Joe's is the big, giant, multi-Walmart-sized corporation, and you're still a bagger?
I don't think it's Walmart size yet.
I mean, no, it ain't Walmart. Of course it's not.
It's going to be a while for anybody to get to Walmart size. But I get what you're saying, though. But like, shit, they ain't getting they ain't getting a slice of that pie.
No, they too, they ain't corrupt yet. That's why they ain't Walmart size. When you're selling all that processed food in your store, then you be like, no, this food is clean. I go to Trader Joe's for the wine. So, you know what I'm going? But as far as Jasmine Crockett, like...
Yeah, I was going to pivot back to that.
In the beginning, I liked Jasmine Crockett, like no bullshit. Because she wasn't as bad as she was now, like toward the end. You got that beginning and then you get worse and worse and worse. And then like
she just got more comfortable.
She just got more comfortable because she was clapping back appropriately, as some black people were saying, like, oh, you're not doing too much. But then now, you get on that Democrat train, Republican train where the master come tell you, we need you to amp it up. We need you to get the black vote back in line. We need you to relate to them more. Talk about slavery. Talk about reparation. As you say, picking cotton. It brings them back in. You know how black people is. Like oh, he mentioned racism. He mentioned slavery. He mentioned something that's relatable to me as a black person, even though I never picked cotton. Nobody in my family is a descendant of slave, or if they are, or they, you don't have that mentality, or you a high class earner, black person, but you're still, subjecting yourself to that idea, how you get pulled back in and you got to rally up the black people to get them back in line because, they straying from the sheep. They trying to think on their own. You bring them back in. But I feel like she started to do that a whole lot more. But it's not about race. It's about she wasn't doing shit for her voters. She kept the same message going on about Trump picking cotton, all this. Like you didn't do any, because I looked up her stuff. She wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah,
she was not.
I don't know. I didn't dive that deep into it. I was more so looking at it like the events surrounding this race.
Yeah, the race thing. Like
from what I was gathering, just from like her response to it, and just like the whole thing, it didn't really seem like it was too much about racism. Like I didn't see how she didn't really blame it on that. It was more so. I think that she was expecting, just like the rest of the Democrats, is like you just expect a certain group of people to vote for you because they are a certain group of people. And also, the biggest complaint that I was hearing was just like the whole mix up around the voting locations and stuff, and how she was expecting a big turnout from Dallas County, and I'm sure you guys know, but if anybody listening didn't. So back in December or October, no, I think it was December, the Republicans decided not to do their primary in the county voting systems. They decided to just go ahead and do it by precinct. But for the past 15, like I think about 20 years, the state had just been going by the county voting system. So you could pretty much go anywhere in your county and vote. So all the citizens were used to that, and that's what they were expecting to continue to be. And in the way that they have it, if one party doesn't agree to go by the county voting, then both parties have to do the
district,
the precinct. Yeah.
Precinct.
Yeah. That both parties have to do the precinct voting. And apparently the Democrats didn't do a well enough job with informing their voters of this, because when it came down to, but then there was still more confusion because for the early voting, they were still allowed to vote in their county areas. So people were like, hey, I was able to go to my regular place, that's just a county place, and I was still able to vote, vote there or whatever. So then people were like, okay, well, I guess maybe I can still go there. So election day come, and they'll go to the place that they have been voting for the past 20 years. And then all of a sudden they getting turned around. They be like, hey, this is not the place you go to vote. You got to go, to this place on the other side of town or wherever the case is. So with all of that mix up, it end up being super long lines and people still scrambling around trying to figure out where they're going to vote. They're telling them to go to the, to DallasCountyVoting.org or whatever. They go to this website. This website is crashed. All of this shit is happening all on the same day. So then they go out to find wherever they're supposed to be going to vote. And then the Democratic Party lead, they put out a request to the judge, a Dallas County judge, and asked them, hey, because by law, the law there is voting is from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So like, hey, can we extend it due to, all this confusion that's going on and super long lines? And the judge was like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll extend it to 9 o'clock. And then the Republican Attorney General, who happens to be one of the other nominees for the Senate race, he was like, no. He called his boys in the Supreme Court and was like, yo, this ain't reject that. So it
wasn't legit.
Well, I mean, they don't know if it's legit or not. That's why they still
you can't
on to
extend any vote without extending the vote for the opposition, which means they would have had to do it for the Republican Party as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the whole thing is. Like the issue was that it was in certain counties that had the long line problem and the confusion problems, and there were the counties that were primarily Democratic. So then the Republicans, he went to the Senate and was like, hey, y'all need to shut that down. So the Senate blocked it, and then it was like, no, if you were in line before 7 o'clock, then your vote is goes through. But if you got in line after 7 o'clock, all those votes need to be taken out and put and separated. And they still haven't even announced whether or not they're going to count those votes or not. So then that's what the biggest objection to the election results from Jasmine Crockett's team was, from my point of view.
I just so happened to be watching the news out of Dallas when they were making the announcements, and they were, doing the tally. You still had like 2 hours left, and they had spoke of the confusion issue where they was like, hey, a lot of you are getting turned away at certain voting areas, then you just need to go to where your precinct or district is in order to cast your vote. And the key words were, we've been telling you this for weeks. In order for you to get prepared, in order for this day to come, we've been telling you for weeks. So
who's the we? Did they say?
The news station had been advertised, telling them for weeks, like, hey, find out where you're supposed to go vote and go vote. So that means to me that, hey, you've been told, you either did not hear, chose not to listen, or just assume, therefore. So
and then also they were allowed to vote in their regular spots during the early voting. So that caused a little extra confusion as well.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
I heard dude said that he was telling them for weeks.
I believe
like,
that.
But is that how it is here? I thought I know here I can go wherever I want. Well, I can't go up north. I know I can't go too far. When I go vote, they were like, no, you got to stay.
They always send it in well, to me, I don't know about everybody, but they like when they send you your voter registration card, it got your location on the back.
Yeah, all the locations you can go to. Yeah. But to Jasmine Crockett, I mean, I know it's with all that mess that's going on, and plus, some or a lot of people were saying that her own party turned on her because a lot of the message. There was supposedly, hypothetically, I'm not sure if it's true or not, some of the message that the Democratic Party wanted her to push, she didn't agree with. And she thought it was just going too black, like just, I guess some of, when your morals start to kick in and you like, I don't want to say that. Like, I just want to.
I mean, if that's the case, then go out how you